Hey everybody, welcome back. Did a stream yesterday, doing one today. Why not? So yesterday I was working on Nakama, trying to get my leaderboards in it, and I think I figured it out, and did some boring UI work last night, and ended up with a framework, a skeleton that I kind of like. If you go to the game over screen, I've got these leaderboards. So these are the leaderboards for this level. And they have the best scores, the best S rank times, the best no rank times, and the best any rank times, A, B, or C. And right now it's just me. And it's the thing I wanted to work on right now is it's showing this as my username. And I don't like that. So I'm going to implement the some kind of control in the options where I can change my username. So looking at the options here, I'm thinking I need a screen for like player info. Got these screens for doing other things. There's not really a whole lot of room left here. Vertically. I could go horizontal. And just have one button hanging out over here. I don't know. Or I could put these visual options on another screen. Or I can make the whole thing scroll. I don't know, I just don't like any of those options really. I do need another screen because I want to have something like username and then a checkbox that says, I mean, I might end up with username and password, and then another checkbox that says like submit scores, right? So you can opt out if you want to. So I do need another screen, like a player info screen. I wonder how. Let me look at some other screens and see how other people do it. Let's see how Nuclear Throne does it. Ooh, noisy. How do these guys do it? Audio, video, game, controls, right? So 4 different subscreens. Just subscreens everywhere. I mean, that kind of makes sense. How do these guys do it? Do they not have an? Oh, there it is. Options. Same thing. Display. Sound. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Let's just make a bunch of different screens. So I want to take the sound settings and move those to their own screen, and I want to make the visual settings and move those to their own screen. Yeah, let's do that. So let's take, where are these? Let's take this, 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 and this. So this, yeah. This, well, let me create the container first. Let's see. Okay, so I want a screen, nope, I want a control, and I want to call it, let's move it down here, and we'll call it screen video, Then we'll do another one. We'll call it screen audio. And those will both be layout full rect and layout full rect. Okay. And then from my main screen, an option container, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take this. Well, that's a VBox control. So let me just add that here. VBox container. And I'll call it option container. And then I can take, where am I? Yeah, I'm in video. So I can take my shake and my this and my this and my this and move them to this. And this guy will be layout center. Maybe not, maybe layout top, center top, and just move it down like that. Call this speed run options. And then behind that, this is main options. This is video options. So I need a label here. Copy these as well. Can I copy them? I can duplicate them. And then I can move them to here. And I'll call this video options. Yeah, like that. All right, so now I've got a screen of video options and my main options. Main options, video options, main options, video options. Okay. And then I want to add a button here. Video. Call it video. And let's change the signal. All right. And this will be go to screen video. Which this should light up red, yeah, because I don't have this enum yet. So you can see I'm using this pattern here. Go to screen main, go to screen video, whatever, right? So up here I've got my different screens. You'll need a screen audio as well. Okay, spell. It starts on screen main, and then I've got a go to screen that does all this showing and hiding for the different areas. So let's copy this and call this video. Video. So this will hide, and I'll do screen video show. All right, it'll hide everything else, show the video, and in the video scene, I want it to go right to the screen shake setting. Let's move those down. I want to go right to the full screen setting. Just move those down to there and there. So this is a nice thing about using a VBox container is that as you move these controls around the tree, they just automatically find the right spot to be. Yeah. So I want button full screen to get the focus. Like that. And all my other scenes need to do hide. 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 Like that. And when this option screen appears, it loads the config settings and then sets all the appropriate buttons. But since I've moved my video buttons to this screen video control, I need to change this code as well. So these options, all of these options here are now under screen video. Like that. Yeah. And on the screen video, I need a back button. Just like these two here. Button video back and gamepad button. This gamepad button is my own scene. I think it slacks. It basically just shadows one of these another button. So I'm having it shadow, I'll have it shadow button video back there. You know what I should do? Well, I'm not going to do it right now. But I was thinking if I made this a child of this one, right? Then it could know just, I wouldn't need to assign this. I would just say, whatever your parent is, if the parent is, well, maybe that wouldn't work. Yeah, I was thinking if the parent isn't visible, then show this. But if the parent isn't visible, this wouldn't be visible either. Anyway, come out of there. So this thing shadows this thing. This is just an export variable. And then when this is visible, this one will hide itself. And when this is invisible, it'll show itself. And it does all that by I mean, there's a bunch of other code elsewhere that just says, am I in gamepad mode, or are they using mouse and keyboard mode? And it switches the controls. So this guy will go to like that. So I think this will work. But what I'm noticing here is that I have a bunch of these methods that all do the same thing. They just go back to the main screen. So what I should probably do is just change these back buttons to use that generic to use a generic function to just go back to the main screen. Well, let's see. Let's see if this works first, and then we'll do some refactoring. Okay, so there's my new video button. Ba-boom. Back. If I change a setting, didn't work. Right, because this is on the wrong screen. This is on the wrong screen. And what else was there? Shake. And chromatic. There we go. And if I go back, if I close it, it should have saved it. Yep. On VSync, screen shake off, screen shake high, screen shake normal, off, normal, high. All right. Back. Speedrun options, back. Controls, back. Just gamepad, back. Okay. So that works. But yeah, I think I want to rename this just button back. Disconnect that. Call it button back. Go to screen name, like that. And I'm going to delete those. So I've got controls back, speedrun back, video back. Right, those are going to go away. This guy, oh look, it kept the reference, that's cool. This guy goes button back. This guy we'll call button back and just reconnect it, and it'll go to this, right? This is based on the name of the button, but this method already exists, right? And then this one, I'm gonna call it button back. I'm gonna do the same thing. Disconnect, reconnect to button back, which already exists. There it is. Adjust gamepad. Button back, right? Disconnect, button back. And speedrun already did. All right. So do I have any other screen pane? I have that twice for some reason. Let's delete that one. And I don't need this one. See, you see these clues here show you how it's connected to a signal. This one's not connected anymore. So I've got one back. Okay. Let's test it again, make sure it works. Hey Slacks, we're doing good. We're doing good. I mean, yeah, we're doing pretty good. It's kind of a challenging day. Kind of a challenging day, but we're having a good day. We're having second Thanksgiving today. My wife's cooking a turkey right now. Okay. So that works. Now let's just copy that whole thing. Let's delete this one. I'm going to copy this whole thing. Actually, before I copy it. Yeah, that's good. So I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to call it screen audio. And then I'm going to delete these containers, or these controls inside. But I'm going to keep the rest. Change the label to audio. And then copy in my audio stuff. There. Perfecto. And then here I need a audio button. Let's hide that. And hide that. Audio, audio, audio. Go to screen, audio. I'm not sure why I'm moving these. I kind of just want them all kind of near each other, I guess. There's no reason for it, really. Kind of have them all over the place anyway. Oh, I've got the dead zone, and maybe that makes some more sense. I put the video stuff near together, like that, and I put the audio near the audio stuff, like that. Controls near the control stuff. I need this video stuff up here with the other video stuff. Let's move the back to the bottom. This is the controls. This is the speedrun stuff. Speedrun timer. Go down here. This would go, this would go. Yeah, those are video. Those are audio. These are video. This is video. This is controls. You might be wondering, hey John, why didn't you just put all these different screens into their own scene? Each one could be its own scene. And I thought about that. It might not be a bad idea still, but I'm doing it this way because you can get to the controls from the main menu, but you can also get to the controls from, while you're playing the game. And the way the scene system works in Godot, you're kind of like, you can't really change the scene if you're playing the game. Like the pause menu comes up as a sub scene. It's just a child scene that I load in an instance inside the scene that's already running. And that's the way the option screen works too. It just loads the option scene and instances it into the running game scene. So then if I had to switch scenes within options, it would need to destroy this option scene that it's on and instance this new option scene without getting rid of the scene that it's in. I don't know, this seemed more straightforward to me, but it is becoming kind of a mess. Anyway, this is where I'm at, and I'm not going to refactor this right now. Especially because it's basically done. It's done. I'm not going to probably add a whole lot more of these. I've got audio, video, controls, a gamepad, dead zone adjuster, a speed run section, and a main screen that gets you to all the other ones. I'm not going to, that's all you need. So at this point, it's pretty much done. Let's see. Video. Audio didn't work. Speedrun still works. Controls still work. Adjust gamepad still works. Audio's not working. On audio pressed, go to screen. Oh, because I didn't implement this yet. Screen, audio. Then hide. And screen audio. Show. And here I want to do a hide. And 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 within the audio scene, or screen, there's music volume, and I do want that one to get focus. So that control is called music volume. Let's see if that works. Audio. And music has focus. So going back to the main screen, video should get focus. Because there is no music volume on that screen anymore. But video. So video, back, right? So now I can navigate this with my keyboard. All right, so now that that's refactored, let me commit that real quick. Options. So now, what is this? Now I can do what I really wanted to do in the first place, which is add a player screen. That. And let's just put it last. Trying to think like what are people most likely to go to the options for? And it's probably most likely going to be video and audio first. Probably audio first, in fact, but I like having video first. What can I say? Maybe they'll do controls. Let's just do that. Let's do audio first. Audio, video, controls, then maybe this other stuff. Yeah. So let's make sure we give audio focus when we go back to the main screen. And player button, yep. And let's add a enum for that screen. This is getting really wide, so let me do this. Let's do this too. Let's just do a quick refactor of this. Let's call that screen. Now I can do that. See that dot? Dot, screen dot, screen dot. That, like that, like that, like that, like, oops. Like that. Yeah. And I want screen player. And that'll be a hide. And I'll do something there. Grab focus of something. Don't know what yet. And I think I'm going to do another refactor here. I'm just going to take all this stuff, all of these, and hide them. Every time you go to a screen, it's just going to hide everything. Like that. And then each of these cases can just show the thing that it wants to show. So that's a little tidier. So every time you switch screens, it's just going to hide everything. And then for each screen, show back the one that it needs. So this will be screen player.show, which doesn't exist yet. And this will be go to screen player. And again, I'll just copy this guy. We'll call it screen player. And we'll call this player. And we'll delete these. Okay. Let's see if that works. Where's my back button showing up? Did I delete it? I'm not sure what's going on there. So in here, I need something like this. I need this. Let's dupe that. Put it here. We'll call this a username container. This one will say username. Show that. And this will be a text edit. Yes. And no text. I have to theme that. I haven't themed any text edits. Username. So in here, this will focus username. Looks terrible. And my button's not here. Why is my button showing up? Oh, yeah, it's because this is shadowing the wrong back button. That's why. Now it'll work. So mouse controls, gamepad control, player, mouse, gamepad, mouse, gamepad. All right. Let's change the width of this. Let's make this a little wider. How come I'm not getting any handles? Read only, no. No wrapping, no scrolling. This shouldn't be a text edit. This should be a line edit. I did theme the line edits. Bop, 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 bop. Still can't change the width of it. Min size 150. All right. Well, sorry, I missed your question there, Slacks. What are your goals with revamping the UI? You're talking about this UI. So I just need more space, mainly, so I could add this. And in here, I'm gonna have the username, and I also need to have a checkbox. I need one of these babies. Right here. Yeah. And this guy I'm going to call submit scores. And this signal will be disconnect, reconnect. Okay. So I'm introducing two new config options. So one is username, and one is whether you submit scores or not. So I've got this config singleton. It's an auto load. I call it config. And because it's an auto load, it's instantiated automatically in every scene when the game starts, and it does all this stuff. It reads the config file or creates a config file. And then it loads all the settings. And these are the default settings. And I'm going to add some new defaults here for username. And what am I going to call that? Submit scores. Let's call it true. Let's call that player. We can be more interesting than that. Let's not call it player. Let's leave it blank. Hey, MLK. How you doing? My eyes are starting to hurt. We're doing some Godot UI stuff today. Godot UI stuff so that I can let people change their username so that we can use that on the high score leaderboards. Yeah, we'll just leave that blank for right now. So the way this works is the config is a dictionary. And you can set or get any key in the dictionary, okay, anywhere in the game just by doing config.set, and you have to know the name, username, whatever, right? And when you do that, it calls this, which changes the dictionary, saves it to disk, and handles any side effects. Like if you change the volume, it needs to actually change the volume, for example. And same with get. You can go config.get, whatever. And it's actually saved out as a config file. There's a built-in class for that. Okay. So when you submit a score, when the game over happens, it submits your score. So here, this needs to say if config.get right? If submitting scores is off, then let's just turn it off. And also in this game server, I've got a login. This should actually do yield completed. This should do yield completed. And it returns this session. Let me look at the Nakama docs. And you'll open up the docs. Nakama session, because I want to get the username that Nakama assigns a username if the user doesn't have one. It's in the session. So I'm calling that. I'm getting the session, but it's just returning true or false. Oh, but it's storing this in a global. Yeah. So here I should be able to say if config.get username equals blank. Is there an empty? Array empty. Node empty. String empty. Yeah. So if this username is, let's call this right. If username dot empty, then set username session dot username. So when the game boots up, hey, good night, Slacks. When the game boots up, it's going to log the user in, creates a client, logs the user in, and then if their username in the config is empty, then it just stores into username whatever this is. And then in config, when it loads the config, right, that'll be the default, which is empty, and otherwise it'll load it, right? And then in the options, I need to say screen player username is somewhere in here. Username.text equals config.get username. And button submit scores dot pressed equals config.get submit scores, which by default should be false. No, true. So if I run the options scene right now, I've got true and username is still blank. But I don't think it should have been blank. Let's print it, shall we? There it is. Username, session username. Oh, now it's there. That was weird. Some kind of race condition, maybe? Let's open those settings. So the settings file, right? This is what a config file looks like. And I can change that to empty. And then I can start the game. Empty. Still empty. But if I run it a second time, not empty. What is up with that? Let's move this code. I think it's a race condition because this code might not have happened yet when the options screen loads. So let's take this code and move it here. And this would be game server session. If username is empty and game server.session. Let's not even put it there. Let's put it here. So when you actually click the player screen, but that means this needs to be there as well. I mean, in practice, this isn't really going to happen. I'm trying to solve a problem that isn't going to happen to real players, because real players aren't going to go directly to the options screen. They're going to go to the main menu first, and then they're going to go to the options screen, and there it'll be. So it's only a timing issue because of the way I'm doing it, the developer way. So if I erase that, start the game from the beginning, options, player, yeah, there it is. Erfurgurthed. 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 That sounds Icelandic, Norwegian maybe. It's definitely Nordic. Erfurgurthed. Erfurgurthed. Oh, I'm obviously losing my mind. All right. So anyway, that works. So let me connect some signals here. Text. Right? Hey, Vim. Yeah, like I'm trying to fix a problem, but it will never happen to an actual player. It's only happening because of the weird way that I'm debugging and testing this thing. So why am I don't need to fix that. I do need to connect this to a signal, and I need to connect this to a signal, right? And then this will say config set submit score. Did I call it submit score or submit scores? I pluralized it. Asteroids controls scores. Okay. Plural it is. And this will be button submit scores. Oops. Button submit scores.pressed. Right, so this just says set my config, set this config, which is a Boolean, to the value of whether this button is pressed or not. If it's pressed, it's on, it's true. And if it's not pressed, it's false. It's off, it's false. Right? And then when it loads back up, it just does the opposite. It sets the pressed value to whatever the configuration is. And then this needs to do config set username with whatever they typed in. Now, it also needs to make a Nakama call, do something, update username, right? And yeah, it actually needs to do that first. So I need to update the username, check if the username is taken, show error message if taken, and update the config setting. But for now, let's just update the config setting and just see if that works. Let's see if it takes. Player, right? So now I can type in so you see I've got the config setting here, right? The file's loaded. So as soon as I type in a name, it should have saved it. Hey, there it is, right? And this one should save as well. Submit scores, false. Submit scores, true. So it's working. And if I quit, restart, it should remember those settings, right? Right, there. Okay, so that works. Now, back to the Nakama documentation. Because I want to be able to update the account that the user has on the game server. Oh, interesting. There's a username and there's a display name. Maybe I just need to change the display name and then I don't need to check for uniqueness. Okay, so every account has a user ID, which is unique. User ID is unique. Username must be unique. Display name is not unique. So I can just call this, I can leave, yeah, I can just put whatever in here that I like. But this will be update display name. And then I don't need to check or do an error checking, nothing like that. So I'm going to do update display name. Let's do this. Let's get this value. Do that. All right, so I get the display name. Display name. Call my game server, update the display name on the server, and save it in the config. And I don't need to wait for this to finish. This can happen asynchronously, and I'll just assume it works. That's going to be my default position. I'm going to assume it always works. Not going to put any error checking code here like, if it didn't work, then do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to assume it always works, because it will 99.9% of the time. And the time when it doesn't, this will get updated and this won't. And that's okay, because the user will go, hey, my name didn't update. And they'll go into the options and they'll change it again. And the second time they do it, it'll work fine. And that'll be so rare because the server will never be down. It'll always be online. It's always going to be working perfectly, right? 99.9% of the time. Oh, it's passing this in. So I can just say that. And in fact, I don't even need that. I can just say, let's call this display. Cool, I like that. So I just need to implement this now in my server. Update display name. So I'll have a function, update display name string, and it's going to do a Nakama something. I don't know. Let's look up some documentation here. I need to call update account. I can probably do it from the session object. Session details, variables, accessing. Request. This is for creating a session. Right, this is for creating a session. User accounts. Update account. Godot. Yeah. That's what I want. So this will do something like this. That function is here. Here. Okay, so these can all be null, right? Session, you have to pass in. But then username can be null, display name can be null, avatar can be null. So I'm going to pass in session, then null, then display name. All the rest will be null. Session, null, display name, a blap. I'm gonna log this. Like that. And log this. And I think that'll do it. It almost seems too easy. Oh, my config, options. Let's close some of this stuff. Yeah, so I'm updating with the display name and I'm setting the config to the display name. Options, player, Johnson. Put display name Johnson. Sent the request off the server. Oh wow, it sent Jotso, sent Jotson. I don't want to do that every time it changes. Text change rejected. Text entered. Maybe this is what I want. Emitted when the user presses the enter key on the line edit. Emitted when the text changes. Oh, I should set a max length on this too. Max length. Let's make it 16. I could make it fun, like 4. Maybe 10. I'm kind of thinking back, you know, in the old days on arcade machines, you had 3. And it led to a lot of fun combos, right? My name was Jon. But you'd walk up to any arcade machine in the world and see SEX on the board, or ASS, right? It was fun. It's childish, but it was fun. And so there's, so there's something attractive, I think, about keeping this short, intentionally short. But maybe that would only be fun for me. Let's do 12. Let's just call it 12. Let's see what happens. None of this is permanent. I think maybe I don't want it on text changed. I want it on focus exited. So when the focus leaves that control, then it's going to update it. So now I should be able to see a bunch of typing. No request has been submitted, but when I leave focus by clicking on something else, then it sent it. So it's not going to send like a billion requests every time as people are typing, right? It'll just send one once it changed. So now that I've changed my display name to Jotson, I should be able to go, this is what I'm hoping, I should be able to go over the game over screen and run this and look at the leaderboard, and it should say Jotson instead of that weird username. No, it didn't. I mean, why would it? Could it be because in my leaderboard I'm not showing the username, I'm showing the, maybe this should be display name. Do you get, okay, let's look at the leaderboard documentation. Do you get the display name back from the leaderboard? You get a API leaderboard record, submitting scores, list records, list scores. You get an API leaderboard list. Which has one of these. Which has username in it, owner ID, what's the point of, oh yeah, I mean I could, I haven't implemented the Steam API, and because I'm so, can you just pull from their Steam name? Yes. If you implement the Steam API, you can. But that only works in the Steam version. I'm selling this on a couple different stores. So there's an itch version and there's a Steam version. I'm probably at some point going to have a GOG version. And if I only implement the Steam API, then those other guys, they won't be able to participate in any of this stuff. Like, I don't even need the game server. I'm using Nakama, right? I could just use Steam for the game server, for the leaderboards and all that stuff. But then those other stores, they wouldn't be able to participate. And I kind of want everybody to be able to, no matter where you buy it, I want you to be able to participate in the leaderboards and do the speed runs and upload and share content. Just one big happy family. So I'm not implementing the Steam API. So I can't get their Steam name. Maybe what I'll do is at some point implement the Steam API in the Steam version and then load that name in if you're on Steam. But if you're not on Steam, then it would still do this way. I don't know. I don't even want to think about right now having multiple versions and doing multiple builds for different stores. Right now I'm just doing one build for every store. We'll see what happens. So every account can have a display name. but it's not returned in the leaderboard call. Ah. Maybe somebody's running into this problem. Nakama list leaderboard records display name. Nope. This is one of the downfalls of using a less popular framework. There's less help. Let me just, actually, let me break here and see what's actually in that record. I just want to see it. In my S record, I have username, score, and rank. Okay. And in here, when I'm getting the leaderboards, I wonder if I can give it some options of the types of things that I want. Session, owner IDs, limit, cursor, record owners to fetch with the list of records. Doesn't look like display name is used in many places in this API. That's me. That's me. You can update. All right, this is the schema for the update. Getting user data about a user. I think I'm gonna have to go back and just say, I mean, display name was a good try, but I think that it's obviously not used throughout the system. And I think what I need to do is go back to my original thought of changing this back to username. Username. Update username. Do a yield here. And then check if username update was accepted. And then show an error if it's not unique. So if there's some error with the update, it'll return false. If their update worked, it'll return true. And then here, I check that result. If result, let's call that okay. If okay, then do that. Else, show error message or something. Do something. Okay, let's try this. Completed. Okay. Yeah, made the request, updated it. Right. And if I go to my game over scene now and look at the leaderboard, it's still that. Why didn't this change? Maybe, oh, well, shoot. Maybe it only changes, you know, maybe once you submit a score, it's baked in. Ugh. I forgot how to fly. There it is. Yeah. Okay. So once the score has been submitted, it's baked in. That's fine. That's fine. That's just a quirk of how Nakama works. So somebody asked yesterday, you know, what's it like working with Nakama? And I said, it's pretty typical of working with an API. There's the documentation, and then there's how it really works, right? And this is just an example. Like, it might say somewhere in the documentation that once you submit a score, it saves the username along with the score, and then if you change your username later, it doesn't update all this stuff. But I kind of bet it doesn't say that anywhere, and it's just something you need to learn. Maybe it's implied in the schema or something, but I'm not going to read all the documentation word for word from beginning to end. B, even if I did, it may not be in there. So, like I said, just it's typical, right? It's not good or bad. It's just this is the way working with third-party APIs is. You need to try them out, find their weird edges, and then adapt. So, I'm officially number 1 with the best score, the best time, the best no rating, and the best S rank time. Official. But I mean, proof of concept here. This shows it's working. And what I need to do next is just take this option thing, and if you try to type in a name that's already taken, what I'll probably have it do is like turn red and shake. And yeah, I know, Nick. It's going to be all you on every board. I'll have it turn red and shake if the name's already taken. Maybe show a little message over here. An X or something. I don't know. Something to just let you know it didn't take. And then if you type in one that does take, it'll turn green or something. But it works. It works. So I refactored this. Now my main options screen is just a bunch of buttons to subscreens. So I have a lot more screen real estate now to deal with, or to be able to use, right? I can add a bunch of sound options here. I can add a bunch more visual effects options here. These are pretty much done. I could add a password here, or whatever. So this is nice. I like this framework. I'll probably take this into my next game. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll rewrite it all. But there could be another button here, for control remapping or something. Controls, remap, change all the buttons. Player, username, password, whatever. Yeah, so that's good progress today, guys. Thanks for hanging out, watching. It was a fun Sunday. And I'll see you again for the next one. We'll do this again soon. Thanks, everybody.